Welcome to Connecta. This is Mike with your hearing conservation training. Right up front, I want to tell you that your training will not be complete until you have a discussion with your supervisor. You're going to be talking about the things that are important for you to remember. You'll need to explain when it's too loud. You'll have to list the areas that require hearing protection. You'll demonstrate how to properly insert an earplug. Describe symptoms of hearing loss. And explain the difference between temporary and permanent hearing loss, and a list of some home activities. So let's talk about noise. Noise can do a lot of damage. What kind of damage? When is it too much noise? Well, first of all, you need to understand a couple of things. Damage is caused by loud noise, the volume, how loud is it? But it's also caused by how long you're exposed, the duration, and then the frequency or the pitch. Now are you exposed to noises? On the job? Off the job? Really, every day we're exposed to noises. Take a listen. You should know your symptoms of hearing loss. You know, things like misunderstanding people, turning the TV or radio up, you cannot hear high-pitched sounds, asking people to repeat themselves. If you have problems in noisy environments, speaking loudly, ringing in the ear. Don't wait until you need a hearing aid. Take care of your ears. This can be caused by a lot of different things. Loud noise is the one we want to talk about today. Waves of energy enter the ear, and it converts to sound. Well, it's a little more complicated than that. The sound waves, combined with extreme frequencies, cause damage. But that time spent that I mentioned before is illustrated on the chart above. How long are you going to be in there? If you're in for a short time, you can stand some higher noises. Really what we're saying here, the louder the more pressure it puts on your ears. So how loud is too loud? Well, there's a lot of people saying a lot of different things, but basically, if we talk about 85 decibels and greater, that's when the damage begins. And you can see from this chart, there's a lot of different examples up here. Let's take another look at couple of charts here. Home scale on the left. And then a lot of work activities on the right. And as you can see as we go up in the scale here into the red areas, you're really getting to some extreme loud. Damaging. So inside of your ear, the way this works is really pretty simple. There's this complicated mechanism in the ear, but we're focused on the cloaca. The cloaca is where all those little hairs are. The energy goes in and moves these hairs around, and that's what we know as sound. Let me explain it this way. It's like a grain field. On a nice sunny day, the grain moves back and forth very gently. But then what happens? When a storm comes through, knocks that grain down. Then a little while later, the sun comes back. Did all the grain come back up? No, it doesn't. It's like the hairs in your ears. They don't come all the way back up either. That's what causes the damage. So you got to get to know the difference between temporary hearing loss and permanent hearing loss. Temporary leads to permanent. Now 85 decibels again is the action level. That's what OSHA tells us. So when you're in these areas, your employer will tell you that these are high noise areas and you've got to take precautions. It's the law. So wearing hearing protection is very important, but it's a last resort actually, because we need to follow the hierarchy of controls, which says, basically, get rid of the sound and only use hearing protection as a last resort. You'll get an audiometric test when you're hired. Then there'll be from that initial employment automatic test, you'll have your baseline. Each year, your baseline will be compared to the actual test on the current year. If there's a difference, you'll be referred to a specialist. So assure that when you wear the hearing protection that it fits, feels comfortable. Employers must provide and make available a wide range of hearing protectors. You select the kind that makes best sense for you. They don't all work exactly the same, and they don't attenuate the same. On the packages, you'll see an NRR rating. The NRR rating, you have to take 7 off of, and that will tell you how much your noise will be reduced to get you under that 85 decibels. Wearing the earplug properly is extremely important. Follow the directions on the package. Some are inserted a little differently than others. You've got to make sure that they're put in properly, or they're not going to filter out the noise. When you're done, you got to make sure they look like on the right. Cup and release your ears. To check it out to see if the noise continues to be filtered out. So take care of your hearing. Now remember, it's going to be time for you to have that discussion with your supervisor. Make sure you can explain those 6 things we talked about.